In this lesson, we're going to look at slope of similar triangles in another method compared to the last. So let's take a look. This method is going to be using coordinate points. So we can see here in the directions. So we're going to identify the first triangle, the smaller one, and label the coordinate points on the line. Identify the second one, label the coordinates, and after we label our points, we're going to use our slope formula by setting up this proportion. So since the two slopes should be equal, when you set up the proportion, it's all going to work out. So let's take a look. Let's do what it says over here. Okay. So the first thing it said to do was label the points. So I'm going to start with my small triangle. I'll put an S over here by my small one. Okay, so on my small triangle, I'm going to have, so small, it's going to be point J, which is at -7, 4, -7, 4, and point L is -4 and 0. Okay, so that's my small picture. Now I'm going to do the big. Okay, so on the big triangle, I need to list out my coordinates for M and P, because those are on the big picture. So I've got my big picture. I've got M, which is at -10 and 8. Then I have P, which is at -1, -4. Okay, so just so you know, when we set up our formula, it's y2 minus y1. So these are my y's in that, which means the 4 and the 0 should be at the top of one of the fractions, and then the other part, the x2 minus x1, should be at the bottom of one of the fractions. So let's take a look to see if we can figure out which setup has 4 and 0 at either side of the fraction first. So let's take a look. 4 and 0. So I have no, okay, no, those are not 4 and 0s. This is 4 and 0 here. So then I'm going to look closer. Let me see if my denominator numbers are the -7 and -4. Well, I see a -7, but I don't see a -4. So let me just leave that one for now. So this one was out because of the 4 and 0 was not on either numerator. So if I go continue with my other answer choices, I see 4 and 0. So that may be it. Let's take a closer look at the denominator. Does the denominator have -4 and -7? It sure does. So that might be possibly our answer. I'm going to look at the last one, and then I'm going to go back and check my question marked answers. So on my last one, I'm going to look for 4 and 0. Nope. 4 and 0. Nope. So that's definitely out. So when I go back to my remaining questions, so on the other 2 points, the big picture, let's take a look at the y's. So that's 8 and -4. So when I look at the numerators again, I should have 8 and -4. I don't. So I definitely know this is incorrect. And I also already knew that it was incorrect because of this 4. It should have been a -4, but I just wanted to verify to be 100% sure. Now I'm going to look at the other answer that I left a question mark on, and I see that there's a -4 and 8 in the numerator. When I look at the denominators, I should have -10 and -1 being subtracted, and I do. So then that means this is our answer. Okay, so that's one way you can solve this problem for which proportion would help you set this up. Write out the coordinates for the points on the small triangle, write out the coordinates for the big triangle, and narrow down your answer choices like I did. So that is one option. All right, so I'm going to look at this same example, but I'm going to work it a different way. So if all of these points doesn't work for you, this one is another option, but I will say this option does take a little bit longer. And you can see here what is the other method to figure out which proportion we would use. Find the slope from the line using any 2 points. So we would find the slope for this line. Then we're going to work out all of the answer choices to find the equivalent answer. So watch what I mean when I say find the slope of this line. So let's say I'm going to pick 2 points. Okay, I'm going to use, of course, the close ones. So let me go with L and P. Any 2 points on the line are going to work. So then I'm going to start at my left point. If I start at my left point, I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went down 4, and then I'm going to run 1, 2, 3. So my slope for this line is going to be -4 thirds. Okay, so if my slope, that's terrible, you can barely see that. Okay, that's better. So now, what I mean by working out all of the answer choices, I'm going to go and I'm going to say, all right, well, I'm going to work out this. What is 0 minus 7? That's going to be 7. Then I'm going to work out the denominator, so that's going to give me 8. Well, just right there, I know that that fraction is already simplified, 7/8, and it does not match this slope of -4 thirds. So this answer choice is out. I try the next one, so then when I look at the next answer choice, I'm like, okay, let me calculate here. What do we got? We've got 0, that's 4 again. Then I work out the denominator, so 4 minus -7 actually gives me 11 right there. It was looking good, kind of, because of the 4 in the numerator, but that 11 is just no. Okay, so that's out. Then I try another one, so I look at the next answer choice, so I see 0 minus 4. What's 0 minus 4? And I get -4, so I'm like, ooh, that's looking good. Try the denominator. So -4 minus -7, that is -4 plus 7, because the minus and negative, plus use your Desmo, so then that shouldn't be any issues. So when I type that in, I get 3. So I'm like, oh, that looks good. But then I'm just going to leave that one for now. Let me try to check out the other one, and then I'll come back and completely verify my answer there. So when I go to the last answer choice, and I calculate up here, I see that -4 minus -7, that actually comes out to be 3. And already right there, I'm like, no, that needs to be a 4, whether it's a -4 or a +4, so that's just out. So if I go all the way with my my remaining answer choice, let me check this. Okay, so here I have -4 minus 8, that's -12. And then I work the other part, and that's going to be here -1 minus -10. That gives me 9. So when I simplify this side, that will give me -4/3. So these two have the same slope as the line using those 2 points that I chose. But like I said, this method does take a little bit more time because you have to work out each answer choice, but you do have options. So whatever works best for you, go with that.